workers. I spoke with Deputy Director of the Coliseum Complex, Scott Johnson, about their job fair, which will be held tomorrow.
We look for people that want to work a second job. This is not intended to be a primary job. This is intended to be a second job where you may work 10, 15, even 20 hours in a week. And then we bolster our staff up as we continue to get busier. So we're hiring 100 positions in the Coliseum side of the equation. And then our contractors are also hiring. So Show Pros is our event staff company. Spectra Food Service is looking for servers and bartenders. And then the Stagehand Union, which does the work on the stage, continues to look for stagehands that would work in both the Coliseum and the Tanger Center.
So obviously a variety of roles there. And as with any job fair, Johnson says you need to come prepared.
Ideally, we'd like for them to bring a resume with them to be able to talk through their availability of when they can work. You know, the majority of our work is evening work, nights and weekends. What their interest level is, you know, someone that wants to walk and see people and interact fills a certain role, but then we're also looking for ticket sellers and phone room operators and guest services people. So there's a wide variety of different options for people to pick, and everyone that seems to work there is having a fabulous experience.
Yeah, so the job fair is tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's at the Terrace, which is inside the Greensboro Coliseum. Now, of course, Tanger Center is going to need all the help they can get. Their Broadway season off to a huge start here. Wicked, the first Broadway show at the Tanger Center, brought an estimated $11 million boost to the Triad's economy. Then the Broadway show Beautiful, the Carole King musical, sold thousands of tickets. And the next Broadway show coming to the Tanger Center is Dear Evan Hansen. That one opens on December the 7th. Big news. I mean, that place is a game changer for downtown Greensboro.
Yeah, not only is it bringing high quality entertainment, it's bringing jobs and even bringing more business to those businesses in that surrounding area. So it's really just been great for us.
Oh yeah, I mean, I cannot even imagine what it's going to be like when Hamilton gets here, because I know that is so highly anticipated for this region. So I'm excited to see those numbers when that comes. Monique?
When I was looking at the calendar, I'm looking forward to The Lion King. That is one of my favorite shows to see on Broadway. I saw it in New York, and so I'm excited to see it when it comes here a little bit closer to home.
You know, when I was in college, I ushered at the Dean Dome in Carolina just because, you know, you make a little extra money, but you also got to see a lot of cool acts. I mean, that's the same thing if you do this at the Tanger Center. Depending on what your position is, you might be able to see some of those shows.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so you could get paid to literally watch a Broadway show. Okay, well, if I had time to pick up a second job, I might be interested.
I mean, he said 15 hours a week.
If I didn't have a baby, maybe.
All right, things in the weather department have been pretty cold for certain. Temperatures across the board right now are in a mix of 50, 55 in Greensboro, 57 there in High Point. Now, when we take a look at the temperature trend as compared to yesterday, some places are warmer this time today as compared to yesterday, and some places are colder. That's because we had a cold front move through, and now as the front shifts further east, they're dealing with the colder temperatures, and we're starting to warm up as that sunshine is just getting a few hours to bake our air. A little bit warmer than expected, but the winds, we expected this in the vicinity of a front, in the wake of the front, behind the front. You do generally expect the winds to pick up. That's what we're seeing now. Winds pretty breezy in some locations, even wind gusts even greater than this. These are the sustained winds, meaning when you walk outside, there's winds whipping at 15 miles per hour. The wind gusts, you might have a rush of wind that's a bit faster, 20, even 25 miles per hour. That's going to continue through tonight into the start of your Tuesday. It's going to be a brutally cold day tomorrow. I mean, take a look at this. This is what it's going to feel like tonight, but this is starting out the day on Tuesday, what it feels like when you factor in the wind along with the cold temperatures. We're not talking overnight. This is 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, 20 degrees across the Triad.
14 people are out of their homes just days before Thanksgiving after an apartment fire in Greensboro. Firefighters were called out to an apartment building on Arlington Street around 4:30 this morning.
It's unfortunate any time of the year that you see someone get displaced, but especially this time of year. Really, one of our biggest advocates, and we're advocates for American Red Cross, and they do so much for people. Any fire that we respond to throughout the year, American Red Cross will come and they'll give them shelter needs, anything else that they need.
4 cats were also pulled from the building. Fire officials said one person was taken to the emergency room for minor smoke inhalation. The cause of that fire still under investigation. A fire can happen anytime, but the key to making sure you are safe is having working smoke alarms. They should be placed in all bedrooms and hallways. Battery-operated smoke alarms need new batteries every 6 to 12 months, but the alarms themselves don't expire for 10 years. Don't know if your alarm's working or need help changing batteries? Call the Greensboro Fire Alarm Line, and we do have their information on our website, WFMYnews2.com. And you might want to go ahead and check those smoke detectors ahead of Thanksgiving, especially if you're planning on frying a turkey. First and foremost, always use the fryer outdoors, never indoors, under a carport, or in the garage with the door open. Number 2, never use a frozen or partially frozen turkey. The turkey needs to be completely thawed. Finally, don't overfill the fryer. If you put in too much oil, it will bubble over.
You need to make sure that you've already measured how much oil should go in there. Doing water the first time with the frozen turkey, measuring it out, mark it on the pot. Do this a day or two before.
The National Fire Protection Association, says cooking causes almost half of all reported home fires and more than 2 of every 5 home fire injuries.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup today. Family and friends gathered to say goodbye to 14-year-old Marcus Key. He died in a shooting at 4th of July Park in Kernersville. Officers are investigating the circumstances and have not released any suspect information. Key's family is asking for anyone with information to come forward. Police have a person of interest in connection to yesterday's deadly vehicle rampage at a holiday parade in Wisconsin. At least 5 people were killed and dozens more hurt after a red SUV sped through the crowd. You can see the video here. Police say the suspect was fleeing from another crime at the time of this crash. Many in the parade were dance, cheer, and band members from local schools. Classes are canceled today, and the district says it's bringing in extra counselors for students and staff. Officials confirm a 2.4 magnitude earthquake hit Winston-Salem yesterday morning. The epicenter is located near the intersection of Old Salisbury Road and Gyro Drive, just east of Salisbury Court Apartments. If you felt the shakes, you can report it to the United States Geological Survey. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will visit Fort Bragg today to celebrate Thanksgiving with military families. As part of the Joining Forces initiative, which supports families of service members and veterans, caregivers, and survivors. Governor Roy Cooper and First Lady Kristen Cooper will also be there. The president is expected to arrive in our state around 5:30 tonight. Right now, Cone Health is holding a donation drive for their food market. They are asking for non-perishable foods. Also keep in mind the need for low sodium, allergy-friendly, and other healthier alternatives. Is at the Cone Health Med Center for Women on 3rd Street in Greensboro. That drive ends at 7 p.m. We'll be right back after this break.
think that we can do a lot better for our dogs and cats at the end.
The way pets are cared for from the beginning of their lives to the end of their lives is constantly changing. We now have things like pet insurance, doggy daycare, and even pet hospice. Blue Pearl Hospital is expanding this type of palliative care across the nation, hoping to transform the way we say goodbye to our furry loved ones. Now here's how it works. A vet is assigned to you. They come to your home and put a plan in place to help your pet live out their final days or months in the most comfortable and peaceful way possible. This is usually for pets with a terminal diagnosis, but doesn't have to be limited to that. As those days continue on, you have access to a nurse 7 days a week. On their final day, you have the option to do in-home euthanasia. Veterinarian Audra Pompiani, says more people are shifting away from the old way of saying goodbye, dropping them off at the vet and letting them take care of it.
They sleep in our beds with us at night. Some people's pets eat at the table with them at dinner. Like, that's not our relationship anymore. And we have pets because they enrich our lives, and we want to give that back to them, right?
Pompiani says there's also an emphasis on supporting the families during that time.
We want their passing to be dignified. We want the end of their life to be as, peaceful and happy for them as the rest of their life was.
Now, pet hospice is now happening in part due to Congress passing the Veterinary Medicine Mobility Act in 2014. It allows vets to take controlled substances out of their offices and provide services at people's homes. Now, when I first saw this, it caught my attention, obviously, because you've never really heard of pet hospice, but it's not what I thought it was. And I think that it's a great way for families to say goodbye to their pets because, like she said, I mean, we do everything with our pets. Why would we, at the end of their lives, just drop them off? Like, it would be so important just, I think, to have them with you in those last moments.
When she said that, I didn't know that people literally would drop them off and leave. Like, there's no way I could do that. We lost our dog 2 years ago, and we take ours to Cobb Animal Clinic, and one of the things they do that I love, they have a woodsy area that's like a park. It's also a place for people to walk their dogs, but they have a section there where when we did have to make that decision, we went there as a family and did it together. It's outdoors, which I'm sure is better than a doctor's office for the dogs, and I think that's a great thing. But this is a good idea.
Yeah, it's very interesting because if you think about it, pets, as she said, they are our family members. And for some people, that's their only support system, whether it be like an emotional support dog or something like that. So it's great that these are resources that are being provided.
I'm trying to stay strong through all this because my dog is getting old. She's blind in one eye, she's crippled in one. So I know she's getting to that stage of life, but it's wonderful to hear that there's other opportunities out there than just like dropping the dog off and parting ways, because she's been a part of my life ever since I was in middle school or high school.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been quite a while, but
yeah, they're
we
so
love
special
Coco.
to all of us. Yeah, they are. And a lot of this is putting a plan together in place so that you kind of know what's coming and they're taken care of until that last day. And we'll be right back.
So when I first walked out the house this morning, I needed the umbrella. And then as we went through the day, the clouds started to break away. And we got this sort of cotton candy look in the sky with this blue and white hues and a mix of few clouds still there. The current temperature in Greensboro sitting at now 55 degrees. That cold front moved through. The cold air itself not really settling in until tomorrow, along with the windy conditions. So it's going to be a brittly cold day on Tuesday. High pressure remains in control through Wednesday, and then another cold front moves through towards the end of the week. Now, take a look at these forecast wind gusts, though. They're going to continue to be around that 20-25 mile per hour range through tonight. Going into Tuesday morning, we're still getting fairly breezy winds. So temperatures are going to be cold, and so will the wind. So if you don't have the winter gear on today, you'll need it tomorrow. We'll be seeing much of sunshine, a lot of sunshine tomorrow and as well on Wednesday. Not much of a concern when we talk about the sun, but definitely going to have those breezy conditions to deal with. Thanksgiving Day, the warmest day on the 7-day. These winds pumping out of the south and west at 5 to 10 miles per hour, just ahead of another cold front expected to move through before the end of the week.
If you are facing any type of discouragement, today on U Day, Coach Lamont helps us to tap into the inner treasure of encouragement found in us all.
One of the things that I've discovered that so many of us are walking through is this one word, and it's called discouragement. Now, the enemy to discouragement is encouragement. Encouragement means that you are pumped, you are ready, and you can take life by its horns and win. But when discouragement steps in, that is your way of telling your life you don't have the courage to continue on. Whatever you are feeling right now, just know that these feelings are passing. This is your moment right now to encourage yourself to get back in the game and remind yourself of just who you are. You are a champion. You were created for such a time as this. This is your opportunity to win. So why allow discouragement to get into the place that encouragement is supposed to live? This is Coach reminding you, have your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Cue the Rocky theme. That's what we need right there. He just gets you all excited. You know?
I know.
You
That
see
made me
that
think of, do y'all remember High School Musical, Get Your Head in the Game?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I thought of immediately.
Exactly right.
Yeah. I love this whole, finding that encouragement within, like recently I've talked about it before, I started journaling a lot lately, and it just helps to get your perspective, your different thoughts on paper, get your fears, your hopes, and different things like that, and you can just put things into perspective and then just find that drive that you might have been missing.
Do you think you would read that later and it would tell you things, or do you do it to kind of exercise this out?
Just to exercise it out, and then I go back and read over it just to be like, it really isn't as bad as I think it is,
That's a good idea.
Something
Different
to think about.
perspective. All right, we're coming back. Stay there. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton is known for giving back to fans and kids, and if you're lucky enough to catch him on the field, you've even noticed him giving away footballs to kids in the stands in the end zone. But does that generosity on the field come as a cost to Cam? Let's verify.
Once Cam came back to Carolina, this meme started floating around again. It says every time Cam Newton gives a child in the stand a ball, he's fined $5,512. The meme first went viral back in 2015 during the Panthers' run to the Super Bowl. So the question, does Cam Newton get fined every single time he hands a child a football in the stands? Let's verify. Our sources, the NFL and SpotTrack. Cam's tradition, now known as the Sunday giveaway, started during his rookie season in 2011. After scoring a touchdown against Washington, Mike Shula, who was the Panthers quarterback coach at the time, told Cam to find a kid and give them the football as a way to give back. Cam's been doing it ever since, making dreams come true for kids and sometimes even adults.
He actually came toward me and I was like, yay!
According to the NFL's schedule of infractions and fines, players are fined $7,200 for a first offense and more than $12,000 for a second offense. However, this fine is usually reserved for when players throw or kick a football into the stands. It's all about safety and making sure there isn't a fight over who gets the ball. Because Cam hands a football to a single child, he doesn't get fined. SpotTrack shows that Cam has only been fined 5 times in his entire career. None of them are for giving a child a football. So we can verify that no, Cam Newton does not get fined every time he hands a child in the stands a football. With your Verify, I'm Carolyn Bruck.
I'm so glad that that was false.
Yeah,
I was like, I just couldn't imagine, just doing a good deed like that, but I know there are rules to everything.
Plus, the NFL has a couple dollars lying around. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can let go of a football here or there.
Yeah, I mean, how much does this one football cost?
Oh my gosh.
Probably 1,000, I don't know.
No, I can't even remember. I mean, I'd say a good one's probably 100 and something, maybe, like an actual NFL.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
an
they
actual
use.
football, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, that's nothing for them, nothing.
Yeah.
But I thought they would have gotten fined.
I know, but I think it's priceless that it's given to a little kid and they're going to hold on to that. I mean, we just had that story last week. He still has that ball that Cam Newton gave him, so it's something really special, and I'm glad that they're able to do that.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of football, today is your last chance to see Cam Newton and the Panthers in action for free. It's easy to play 2 Panthers tickets on 2. Go to WFNYnews2.com and click on the story. Play and score Carolina Panthers tickets on WFNY News 2. Then click on the hyperlink that says play 2 tickets on 2 trivia here. You can win 2 tickets to see the Panthers take on the Buccaneers on December 26th.
The more you play, the better your chances are to win. The cutoff is tonight. That is at 6:30. We'll announce the winner on WFNY News 2 at 11. This is our last of our 4 ticket giveaways. Again, tonight is that deadline. Good luck.
Oh, see, and I
Yeah, let's not.
Hello. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination when a dark, delicious cookie meets an icy cold sensation. I am using the stick mic, friend. Stick mic. Stick mic.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eric Chilton with Stacy Spivey, Lauren Coleman, and Monique Robinson.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us here on the 4 to 5. I think we're still trying to wake up.
Yeah, it's the Monday mood.
Yeah, and we have our minds on turkey, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I totally understand why we're dragging a little bit. But speaking of turkey and Thanksgiving, in a little over an hour, President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will land in Fort Bragg. The two are celebrating Thanksgiving with military families as part of the Joining Forces initiative. It supports families of service members and veterans, caregivers, and survivors. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper and First Lady Kristen Cooper will also be there. The president is expected to arrive in our state around 5:30 tonight.
While the holidays are often filled with the sharing of laughter and memories, they can be overwhelming for families affected by Alzheimer's disease. The Alzheimer's Association says the stress of caregiving, responsibilities layered with maintaining holiday traditions, it can take a toll. Catherine Lambert is the CEO of the Western Carolina chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. She says as families begin to gather, it's a good idea to adjust expectations.
What I would say for folks that are living with the disease or caring for someone living with the disease, really figure out what were those things that were the most important. And maybe you don't do every holiday tradition you've had for 50 years. You pick the one or two to help manage the energy and stress that goes into that. For those of us that are friends and family of those on this journey, offering to take some things off the plate. Could you host instead of them if they were always the host? Can you bring more things than maybe you would have brought before?
Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, this holiday season might be the first time some families have seen certain loved ones in well over a year. Lambert encourages families to take note of any odd behavior.
And I think the other group that really needs to be aware is those that maybe haven't seen their loved ones. There hasn't been a diagnosis. You walk in and you see things are very different than the last time maybe you saw your aging parents. And you say, oh my goodness, there's a lot of expired food in the refrigerator, or the house doesn't look the way it used to look. Often when we've gone for long periods of time, the phone or even a video can mask that there are some challenges.
Throughout the holiday season, the association offers a free virtual education program providing tips to make the holidays safe and enjoyable. After more than 20 years, researchers at Boston's Brigham and Women's Hospital says they have a possible Alzheimer's nasal vaccine. They say a vaccine is a unique approach to potentially preventing the disease by affecting a person's immune system.
Potentially, it could be something that could be a treatment for people with the disease. And even more important, it could be something to prevent people from ever getting the disease.
The Alzheimer's Association is calling this year an exciting time due to a rise in recent treatments and trials. In June, the FDA granted accelerated approval for the very first Alzheimer's drug. As for the vaccine, researchers hope to have it ready by 2026.
Today is the deadline for federal workers to get vaccinated against COVID-19. The Biden administration says more than 90% of workers are in compliance with the mandate. Workers who are not in compliance are set to begin counseling. That could ultimately result in their termination if they don't get a shot or secure an approved exemption to vaccination. Several workers have already received exemptions. The White House is now aiming to use the federal vaccination mandate as a model for private businesses to implement their own mandates. The number of North Carolinians in the hospital with coronavirus still hasn't moved much. The latest number is 1,055. This metric has really been stuck between 1,000 and 1,100 over the past 12 days. We haven't seen that kind of leveling off at any point throughout the entire pandemic. It's nice to see that this number isn't trending upward, but it's also not going down. And consider this, just 7 weeks ago at the beginning of this graph, you can see where that red line is pointing, our numbers were in the 3,000 patient range. Our current numbers are just a third of that.
With the CDC giving the green light for COVID-19 booster shots for everyone 18 and older, patients may have questions about what to expect with a third dose of the vaccine. Dr. Melanie Swift with the Mayo Clinic's COVID-19 vaccine program says people getting a booster can expect side effects like a sore arm.
Fatigue, general muscle achiness, and headache, those are more common in younger people. The older you are, the less likely you are to have those side effects. It's very similar for boosters to the pattern that was seen in dose 2 of the mRNA vaccines.
After your shot, stay home and, take it easy. To alleviate symptoms, you can drink plenty of fluids and take an over-the-counter pain reliever if necessary. Dr. Swift adds, not having a reaction does not mean your shot didn't work. Viral videos on social media claim you can undo the COVID vaccine by bathing with certain chemicals. Brandon Lewis from our National Verified team looks into why doctors say it's not only false, it's dangerous.
Detox, detox, detox. Videos claiming you can detox in a chemical bath started popping up on social media sites as more employers started mandating their workers get vaccinated against COVID-19. Social media users say taking a bath in a mixture of chemicals will remove the vaccine from your body. So let's verify. Can you detox to remove a vaccine from your body? Our sources are the National Institutes of Health, Assistant Clinical Professor of Medicine at the University of Colorado, Dr. Pyle Coley, and Dr. Richard Clark, Medical Director at the California Poison Control Center in San Diego.
Many of the videos use clips from a speech by Dr. Carrie Modick explaining what she claims the detox will treat.
They take care of pesticides, they take care of heavy metals, all kinds of things, even some parasites.
Modick posted on her website on November 16th that the clips were taken out of context, adding, quote, "I have never stated that I can detox anyone from the current jabs," unquote. And other doctors told Verify there's nothing you can do once a vaccine is given.
It is impossible to remove a vaccine from your body once it has been injected. So once that's been injected inside you, it sets those dominoes into motion with your immune system responding with an immune response.
That process begins almost immediately after injection. Doctors say the only way to lessen the effects of some vaccines is to wait for them to naturally lose their potency.
We've had vaccines around so much longer than the COVID vaccine that you would think if there was any tried and true method of getting rid of the effects of the vaccine, we'd certainly know it by now.
So it's false that you can detox to remove a vaccine from your body. Doctors say many of these videos suggest using dangerous chemicals that the NIH warns can have a serious and potentially deadly side effect. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Closing arguments are underway in the trial of 3 Georgia men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery, an unarmed black man running through their neighborhood. 65-year-old Gregory McMichael, his 35-year-old son Travis, and 52-year-old William Bryan all have pleaded not guilty to charges of murder, aggravated assault, and false imprisonment. 10 days of testimony concluded last week. 2 of the 17 people taken hostage in Haiti last month have been freed. The group of missionaries were kidnapped in October, 16 of which are Americans. Ohio-based Christian Aid Ministry says both members are safe and in good shape. No further information, including the identities of those freed or how their release was secured, was given. 23 North Carolinians are sick because of a salmonella outbreak linked to onions. Since October, whole fresh onions have been recalled by multiple companies, all supplied by ProSource Produce LLC and Keeler Family Farms. Whole yellow, red, and white onions are included in the recall. The CDC is warning Americans to not eat or buy onions at this time unless they can identify their source. Symptoms of a salmonella usually start 6 hours to 6 days after exposure, and we do have more information on which onions are being recalled on our website.
Well, today is Monday, but there's a lot going on this week. We have Thanksgiving on Thursday, Black Friday on Friday. A lot of folks planning to maybe head out and go shopping. Here are the main things you need to know. Tomorrow, a chilly, windy day and a very cold night. Temperatures dropping down into the 20s, but feeling like 20s kind of all day long. Thanksgiving, the warmest day of the week, so Thursday. The warmest day on the 7-day, and then there's a possibility of some rain in the wee hours of your Friday. So if you may plan to head out for Black Friday, maybe 4 a.m. at any store, what may have you, you may see some rain early in the day. Other than that, the radar is planning to be dry. So look at this: Tuesday, dry; Wednesday, dry; Thursday, dry, but late Thursday going into your Friday morning. Like I said, the wee hours of your Friday, see the time on that, 6 a.m. You could see a stray shower or so, but then after that, things clear very quickly, giving way to a much drier Saturday and Sunday. Also want to talk about another thing that ends in the next next 8 days. That is the official hurricane season of 2021. Ends on Tuesday, November 30th. We had 21 named storms this season, but right now we have no active systems. I've yet to show the 7-day, but here you have it. Like I said, Thursday, the warmest day of the week, but you can see going into Tuesday and leaving tonight, we're going to be in the 20s.
You know, it used to be the food pyramid. Now, folks, it is the balanced plate. You can see it on your screen right now. Either way, you know that there are recommendations for what you should eat. When it comes to women, the general nutrition is the same, but women do need other sources, sometimes more at certain times of their life. So right with me right now is the executive director of the Med Center for Women here at Cone Health. We're specifically talking women's health. So often women look at other people's nutritional needs, they don't look at their own.
Exactly. We're the first ones to think about other people's nutrition. We need to look at ourselves and take care of our health.
All right, so what do women specifically need to focus on nutrition-wise at their specific ages? So let's talk about young women first.
So for young women, you need to pay attention to things like folate, particularly if you're wanting to have a child. So you can find folate in sources such as leafy green vegetables, beans, and in rich breads and cereals.
All right, now what about if you would like to become pregnant?
Well, those are the ones. You want to take the leafy green vegetables and the beans for that.
Okay, and so then if we're kind of like in regular, normal times, 30s, 40s?
Yeah, so we have that thing called the menstrual period that we have every single month. You want to replenish the iron sources, so you want to look at things such as leafy green vegetables and beans. The theme here, make sure you're getting some of those because you can definitely find those in those food sources.
You need leafy green vegetables, people. Okay, and last but not least, okay, so I turned 50 this year. They said, hey, you need to concentrate on the calcium. Why is that?
You want to look at making sure your bone density is at to where you can carry yourself and your bones can keep you through older life. And so you can find those in such things as milk, yogurt, and again, what do we have? Leafy green vegetables and beans. So those are the things you can do to protect your health.
Okay, so I hope that you got from that leafy green vegetables for every woman out there. You know, not every family, not every woman has the ability to buy foods that are healthy like that. So this is where you come in. This is where you help out. In fact, people have been coming in, driving up and donating all day long here at the Med Center for Women. You should be seeing that video now so that you can see what that is looking like. And we are open here till 7 o'clock tonight taking your donations. There are all kinds of things that you can just drive up and donate and drop off. Now, the food donation going on till 7 o'clock, but here at the Cone Health Med Center for Women, it's right off of 3rd Street. If you're at home right now and you're thinking to yourself, I just can't get out of the house right now, I got too much stuff going on, how about just getting out your phone? So if you've got your phone in hand, I want you to open up the camera. I want you to scan the QR code that is on your screen right now, and a link will pop up and it's going to take you directly to the site to donate.
AAA says 48 million Americans are driving to their holiday destinations, and it's going to be an expensive trip. The national average price for gas is up more than 60% in the past year. Patrick DeHaan from GasBuddy.com predicts the national average for gas will be $3.35 during Thanksgiving. But there is some good news. Prices are starting to tick down and could continue to drop in the coming weeks.
I would expect the downward trend that's just starting to gain momentum will last into early, potentially in mid-December. It could run longer than that, just depending on how supply and demand continue to fluctuate.
Yeah, it kind of hurt my heart a little bit this weekend when I had to fill up the gas tank. I went, did a little road trip to Eric's hometown of Mount Airy, and it was wonderful, but the gas prices not so wonderful. I think it was like $3.50 something somewhere that we stopped.
And sometimes if you're not paying attention and you're holding the handle or something, then you look up, you're like, oh my God.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
the money is just racking up.
That's me too. I was supposed to drive home to Virginia for Thanksgiving, and I just found out we're actually celebrating in Charlotte. So I was really excited about that because I won't have to use that much gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other day I was distracted while pumping my gas and I was on my phone, which you shouldn't do, and then I looked up, it was like $45.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the heck?
Jeez.
It's just
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, especially this time of year when you're trying to save money to buy presents and everything. Everything's going up. But Target will no longer open its stores on Thanksgiving Day. Company leaders say the pandemic forced them to turn what had become a weekend shopping blitz into an extended event. It was such a hit with customers last year, they decided to extend it for years to come, and holiday sales begin as early as October, as you know. Experts say it could push other retailers to also stay closed on Thanksgiving. I think this is such a wonderful idea.
Me too.
We actually took advantage of some of those sales in October, and it was great. And then those employees get to spend Thanksgiving with their families.
That's what I think. Let the families hang out together. Don't worry about getting out there yet till the next day. Though some people will be camping out anyway,
Yeah.
on the next day after that they're open.
I think some people, it's just a matter of like they may forget an item when they're cooking. I know that's what in my family will be like, somebody forgot something, so you need to run to the store really quickly. But other than that, I mean, to go shopping, that's just kind of unfair to the workers.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just glad everybody gets to celebrate with their family.
Eat some turkey. We'll be right back.
Did you know the top Googled casserole in North Carolina before Thanksgiving is a pineapple casserole?
What?
Yeah. Here's what's in it, according to Southern Living. Canned pineapple, sugar, flour, butter, Ritz crackers, and finally, the special ingredient, cheddar cheese.
What?
Doesn't sound good to me, but
I've never heard of this.
I've never heard of it until today.
I had never heard of it till today either. But okay, Courtney, our executive producer in the mornings, broke it down for me like this. It's essentially like having pineapple pizza minus the pizza sauce, you know? There's the cheese and the crackers and pineapple. So it's kind of the salty sweet. So I would try it.
So Lauren will the look we were
Y'all
giving
both
each other.
giving those
Lauren and I both
faces.
like,
I don't know.
I'll try anything
Yeah.
within reason. Until we do those stories on chocolate covered insects. I won't do that. But I would try it.
I would give it a try,
Yeah.
but I'm not serving it to the
okay.
masses at my family.
Well, a lot of people serve unique dishes at home. So I asked you on my Facebook page which ones your family serves. Brandy says homemade rolls and dirty Cajun rice. Debbie writes mustard greens and turnip greens combined. Hubby goes to garden, picks, washes them, and then we cook and add to table. Fresh is best, I agree. Tabitha's family does a special noodle recipe. Chloe's great-great-grandma always made peanut butter cake. Popcorn is going to be added to Deanna's new family tradition, like from Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving. And then look, Lynn says pineapple casserole. So proof right there.
There's a casserole for everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
And usually I haven't met a casserole I didn't like, but I would have to try this, I think. In my 2 cents coming up, I'm talking about, I went around the newsroom and I asked people what are some maybe recipes that were passed down through your house, great-grandmother to grandmother to mom, that you never liked. And it's hilarious what some people said.
I can't wait to hear
Yeah,
that.
I can't either, because I can't think of anything. I love everything my grandmother made.
Yeah, I remember Lauren and I both were like, well, we're not picky. We like food.
Yeah, I'll eat it all, except for the
Disgusting.
pineapple casserole.
It was the Jell-O with grapes in it and some sort of whipped topping. Well, we'll talk about that in just a minute.
I'm going to step out here because I want you guys to see this picturesque sunset at UNC Greensboro. I mean, take a look at the sky. Behind that cold front, left a few lingering clouds, but allowing for that sun to just make for a beautiful way to end out this Monday. Tonight, temperatures are expected to fall to the 20s. This isn't a joke. It's going to be just that cold, and it's going to feel even colder than that because the winds are going to be factoring in, so making it feel like lower 20s. Tomorrow we'll struggle to get out of the 40s. 47 is the forecast high for Greensboro. Want to show you that 7-day once again. Warmest day is Thursday, Black Friday, like I said, early in the day, wee hours AM shower, and then things will dry out for the latter part of the day. Saturday and Sunday looking pretty good.
Five or six times before. But 2 of them.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, oh, really? With news too. Yeah. Hey, it's a mic. That might. I don't know.
You know, the same thing kind of just happened to me this weekend.
Party in here.
Hi, Mr. Tom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
always go back for one game.
Okay, that'll be fun. You're all over the 789, mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5.
It is life. Hey. Mic check, giving you a mic check. Ice cold milk and an Oreo.
So it's time for my 2 cents, and today we are talking turkey. Well, not just turkey, we're talking traditional Thanksgiving dinners, right? And oh, you can just picture it right now. There's the turkey and the stuffing and all the side dishes.
Yummy.
Yeah, but what about those side dishes? Some of those we didn't like. So I went around, I asked my coworkers, tell me things that were traditional on you or maybe your spouse's family's Thanksgiving dinners that were passed down generation to generation because the great-great-grandmother did it, but you didn't really like it. Well, here's what we came up with, and there were some common themes here. I do remember this one. One of my coworkers said, Watergate salad. That fluffy green material with marshmallows. And yeah, I wasn't a giant fan of that either, but it seems like it was there every year. Never heard of this one, but one of my coworkers said his in-laws always had pickled watermelon rinds. He couldn't stand them, but they were there looking at him every year. Then there's this one. Someone from southern Alabama said they had something called chicken wiggle. I had never heard of this, so I looked it up, and I couldn't even find an image of it. It's similar to this, which is just kind of like chicken noodle soup, right? But this is something it's like a chicken stew with lots of noodles and cream of everything. Cream of mushroom, cream of onion, cream of celery soup, Worcestershire sauce, hot sauce, onions. Yeah, I don't know about that. Chicken wiggle. And then my favorite, my mother always had congealed salad. Now, any food that has the word congealed in it, in my opinion, should not be allowed on the table. I kind of liked it when I was little, but as I got older, just the word, can you just call it something else? Jello salad, that works. Not congealed anything. So when you get to your Thanksgiving dinner in the next few days, just deep breath, right? And you just take just a little teaspoon of that thing that you don't really like that much. And if you're like me, you hide it in your napkin before anybody can see. But that's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Shots fired at a Burlington house. A stray bullet hit a 10-year-old asleep in bed.
Tonight, police are looking for the person who opened fire. WFMY News 2's Sydney Moore spoke with investigators about this crime that landed a child in the hospital.
That's right. Police say the 10-year-old wasn't the target of the shooting. They got hit